All right, so we're gonna work on the pattern of the flare on the floor. This is an excellent way of working on your flares because you don't have to worry about spinning. You don't have to worry about the fact that you're also hanging from a piece of equipment. You can focus solely on the lower body and really just understanding the pathway and building that control through the pelvis and the legs. So the way that I think of flares are in three main sections. So you've got one leg coming across in front of the body. You've got a straddle, which is where you would invert, and then you've got the other leg coming across the body in the opposite direction. So this would be on the way down and out of the flare. And so depending on which way you're spinning will depend on which way you're crossing your legs first. So if you're spinning to the right, it will be left leg coming across first in the direction that you're spinning, which is to the right. And if you are spinning to the left, then the right leg is going to come across first, going in the direction that you're spinning. So that's how you can remember which way you're moving your legs. I think this drill is worth training on both sides just so that you have that body awareness. And also because we're not actually spinning, it's kind of easy to do that and reverse it. So you can do this keeping your head lying flat on the ground if you would like to, but because I'm talking to the camera, I'm going to just keep my head off the floor. And then I also want to make sure when I'm doing this that my core is engaged and I'm thinking about pushing my back into the floor just to make sure that my lower back is in a good position. So we can actually mark this before we do it with legs off the floor. So the first thing would be to cross my right leg over to the left. And I'm doing this in a way that lifts one hip and twists my torso. Notice how I'm trying to keep my chest and my shoulders flat on the floor, because obviously when I'm hanging from my hoop or whatever equipment I'm using, my torso stays square, right? Like from the middle of my torso up and my shoulders, they're going to stay square. So crossing one leg, and then I'm going to come into a straddle, and I'm doing this with a 90-degree pike in the hip, so I'm not all the way up here. I'm keeping my low back flat on the floor, but obviously we're thinking about sweeping the leg up and lifting them. So if I'm crossing over here, I then want to lift my legs as if I'm simulating my flare. And then from here, I can just pop this one down, cross the left leg, and then coming back to this position on the floor. So the one thing that this is missing out is it's missing out the fact that I'm going to be hanging in an arch. So that's the one part of the exercise of your flare that we can't simulate, right? When we're spinning, we want our legs behind us. Some people will also do like a little circle and then sweep the legs, kind of like a wind up. So that very initial bit, that starting position, we can't simulate that with this drill, but we are doing the rest of the work, lifting the legs and then bringing them back down, which is still really valuable. So if we do this with a little bit more engagement through the lower body, so I'm going to have both my legs off the floor, and then I'm going to cross. So I'm actively pulling this leg across my body and lifting the foot towards me. My toes are pointed and I'm locking my legs. So this is really important to train this drill with that level of tension that we would want in the air. This is one of the huge benefits of doing this on the floor. So tense legs, and then I'm going to snap into a straddle because it's a quick, powerful movement. And then from here, I'm going to cross, and then I'm going to come back to the start. So if we reverse it, so if I'm spinning to the right, my left leg is going to come across. So my hip is lifted, there's some rotation through the middle of my body, snap to my straddle, tense legs, everything is engaged, and then bringing the leg over and then back to here. And then once this starts to make more sense, you can do it as a more fluid motion. You can also play with the speed. So, lying here, so I can pretend then I'm actually doing a flare and I'm going round in circles. And I'm actually just going to show you quickly from this side as well. So you can see what's happening with my hips. There's compression strength. Hip flexors are engaged as I'm doing this. So lifting up, out, and around to create these circles. So once you understand the coordination of this drill, you can then start to explore going more slowly, going a bit faster. Definitely work both directions. You'll feel that if you do multiple reps in a row, your core is going to start to work a bit more, especially because the legs are lifted off the floor. We're kind of in a sort of a hollow body position. And the thing to really focus on is control and leg tension. So when we're spinning, it's very easy and very quick for form to just go out the window because we're spinning, we don't know where we are in space. So this is why working on exercises like this, where we remove it from spinning, allows you to actually build that strength, build that control, build that coordination and that body awareness. And it makes it much easier to take this and then put it in the air.